So finally we have reached our milestone project for this course. So basically we are going to be creating a milestone project at the end of our course that will be a blog website using Django framework. So in this blog website, we're going to be creating an entire interactive website using which we can post different posts on our blog website. We can create different user. Anyone who is visiting our website can sign up to our website, and we're going to be adding a lot of things like the database and all the different things. We're going to be creating the contact us form. We're going to be creating an admin panel where the admin can add the post and do different stuff over there. And we're going to be adding authentication and different stuff. So we're going to be starting with that particular project from this video onwards, and we're going to be making this entire blog website from end to end using Django framework. So let's get started with it. So I will just open the terminal, and over here I will just open cmd, and in here we're going to be providing this command that will be pip install virtual env. If we hit enter, so it will start installing this particular library into our system. Now what we can do is we can just pass the command as python virtual env and the name of the virtual env. So I will do -m virtual env, and the name of the env will be code blog. And if I hit enter, so it should create a virtual environment for us. In that we are going to be installing Django. So right now you can see it has created a virtual environment for us. Now what we can do is we can just do cd code blog, and over here I will do cd scripts, and we will just activate this virtual environment. So I will do activate.bat, and if I hit enter, so it will activate the code block virtual environment. Now what we can do is we can do this cd dot dot, and we will come in Python 101, and over here we're going to be passing a command to install the Django. So we will do pip install Django, and if I hit enter, so it will start installing it onto our system. So it will take few minutes to install. There's a Django package, and Django is used by big tech companies such as Instagram and Netflix to host their entire website, and they are using Django in their backend framework. So Django is a really powerful backend framework in Python that is used by big tech giants. So right here we have successfully installed the Django, and after that we're going to be creating a new project in Django. So for creating a new project in Django, we just need to pass a particular command that is Django -admin, and after that we will do start project, and we're going to be starting the project with a particular name. So we already have given the virtual environment name as code blog, so we'll name the same over here. If I hit enter, so let's see if it is creating a project for us. So it is showing something that it already exists, so I will just name it as code blog 1, and if I hit enter, so is not a valid project name. Please make sure name is a valid identifier. Okay, know why it is not working, so I will name it as code blog 1. If I hit enter, now it should create a new project for us. So if I go over here and if we scroll over here, you can see we have a folder name code block 1, and we have the manage.py file inside this. So what I will do is I will just try to close this VS Code, and inside this particular folder we're going to be restarting our VS Code. So let me do that. Over here we just do open with code, and you can see this is the output that we get. So we have now the manage.py file, and we are inside our code blog 1 file, and in here first of all we're going to be starting our virtual environment. So we will do cmd, and we will do cd dot dot, and in here we will do cd code blog and do cd scripts, and we will activate our virtual environment. After this, we will go back into our folder, that is code blog 1, code blog 1. Now we are inside our virtual environment. So once we are done with this, inside this virtual environment, we can just type python manage.py run server, and if I hit enter, so it will start a server. So if I just click on this URL, so over here you can see the Django is successfully installed onto our system. So this is the home page that we get when we run the manage.py file and we have successfully installed the Django on our system. So once we're done with this, we will just move forward and just close this file, and we're going to be starting with our main project, that is the blog website. So after this, we are going to be creating an app in here. So right now we have this main project that is our code blog 1, and inside that we're going to be creating different apps in which we are going to be performing different operations. So right here we need a new app that will be our blog app. So what I will do is I will do python manage.py start app, and the name of the app will be blog. So if I hit enter, so it will create a new app in our folder. So over here inside our folder, you can see this is the blog app it has created for us, and over here you can see there are different files that are available, and you can see init, admin, apps, model, test, views. And if we go inside the code blog 1, over here you can see some other files that it has generated, that is init, ASDI, settings, URLs, WSDI. So these are the other files that are present in here, and we have a SQLite database that it has created for us. So this is how we can create a new app in Django. So if you want to add multiple apps, you can just create a new one with the help of this command, that is start app. So this is the format that we need to use to create a new app. After this, if you just want to know what all commands are available in this thing, so what you can do is you can just run the command by just typing python manage.py, and if I hit enter, so you will be able to see what all functionalities it provides. So if I just zoom out a little bit and make this a little bit bigger, so over here you can see what all functionalities we can do on this particular. So if I just make it a little bit bigger, if I just scroll up, you can see what all commands we can type with this manage.py. So there is a sub command that we can type. So to change the super user password and do different stuff over here, you can see what all commands are available. So we can just type any command and we can perform any operations which are available over here. So these are all the operations that we can perform with the manage.py file. Other than this, we can also type Django admin -admin, and if I hit enter, so it will also show what all commands are available that we can run with this command, that is Django admin, and these are the sub commands that we can perform using this particular admin command. So you can just go through it and you can see what all functionalities or what all sub commands we can type over here and perform them. So you can just go through this list. So after creating the project, what we need to do is inside our blog app, we need to create a new file that we're going to be naming it as URLs. So we'll do urls.py, and in this file, we're going to be adding all the URL routes that we want to perform inside this app. And over here, you can see this is our app where we have the migration files, which is showing us the migration files inside that. This is our app, and this is our project that contains the settings.py file. So you can differentiate the app and the project by these two files that are present in our inside the folder. In the project file, we get the settings.py, and in the app, we get the migrations folder. And in the app, we get the migration folder. So once we're done with this, we will just try to go inside the file which is available, which is the URLs which is present inside our project. So we have created So right now we have two different URL files. We have already created one inside our blog app and other one is present in our project. So we will just go over here and we're going to be performing some operations with this file, and we're going to be redirecting the user to a particular URL. So over here, what I will do is we're going to be adding another path. So you can see there is a path. If we add admin slash, in that case, it will take the user to the admin panel. I will be adding another path over here. So I will do path that will be equals to slash. So if we go to the home route, in that case, we want our website to include. Okay, we also need to import the include over here. So we will add a comma and import include. And after that, we're going to be passing this query or whatever the request is to the blog.urls. So it should be in single quotes. I will do blog.url. Yes. So after adding this, we will be able to redirect the user whenever they come to the home route to this URL file that we have created inside our app, which is the blog app. So what we are telling over here in this line is if anyone is hitting this URL that is the home route, in that case, just redirect them or tell the, in that case, we are just redirecting the page or the request to the urls.py that is present inside our blog app, and we are just trying to fetch the home route from this particular app. So you can see there are more things are available over here. You can just go through this, and we have used this particular URL pattern to just redirect the user to the blog website. So once we are done with this, we will just try to copy this code. It will be helpful for us. So we will just try to copy this and we will just try to paste it inside our urls.py inside our app. And in here, we are going to be making some changes. After this, what I will do is I will just try to copy this thing from here. So we will just try to copy this path and we will just try to remove this from here. And instead of that, we're going to be pasting this code. Okay, I just need to copy it, to add it over here, and I will try to remove this thing. And we also need to import the views. So there is a file named views inside our blog. You can see this is the views file, and in that we're going to be writing a function that will return us something. So I will do from dot import views, and after that you can see this error is solved now. So right here what we are doing is we are just redirecting our page to views.home, and over there we are just calling the function that is home. So we just need to create a function named home over. So we just need to create a function named home inside our views.py. So we just need to create a function named home inside our views.py file. So after this, we will just go inside the views.py file, and over here you can see this is the pre-written code that we get, and in here we're going to be creating the home function. So what I will do is I will just create the home function, and we will do def home, and in here we will pass the index, and after that we're going to be returning, and we just need to import a library that is http response, and we will do http response, and in here we're going to be adding some text. So I will just name this is homepage. So after this, if I just save the code and try to run the server, so I will do python manage.py run server, and if I hit enter, so it will start the server for us, and if I just click on the server, so it should redirect us to the website. And over here you can see we are getting this thing. Okay, we just need to update one thing over here, that will be empty, and in the views we are calling the home function and this one. Okay, if we just save the code and try to go on the web server and refresh the page, so if I just refresh the page, so over here you can see this is home page. So we are getting the appropriate output. There was an issue I just forgot to save the files, and after saving the file and running the code and just refreshing the page, I will get this output. So basically what is happening in our code is, first of all, we are redirecting the user to this particular route. By default, it will just go inside our main project in the URLs, and over here it will ask the urls.py, where should I go. So here you can see we are adding the path. If it is admin, in that case we are going to be redirecting it to the admin panel. If the user is not admin, it is coming with a blank string. In that we are just including the blog.urls. So we are just passing the control to the blogs.url file, and after that it will just come inside here, and here it will check if the request is empty. In that case, it will just redirect the user to views.home, and it will just run the function that is available inside this views.py. So if I just make another function over here, so let's say we are also going to be creating a function named blog. I will just add here blog, and if I save this and if we go back here and in the routes, if I add another route by adding a comma over here, and we're just going to be copying this thing and adding it over here, and instead of home we will just redirect the user to the blog, and here we will do the same. The name will be blog, and I think we just need to save this file. Over here we're going to be renaming this to blog. So if I do this, if we just save the code, and if we go back to the server, and if we add a /blog over here, so if I add /blog and if I hit enter, so you can see we are getting an error. So let me just try to find out the issue over here. Okay, so we just missed out to add blog over here in the URL. So if I just add this, if we save this, and if we just try to go back and refresh the page, now you can see this is blog page. So we are getting the output for the blog page as well. So we can create n number of pages using this particular format, and we can redirect the user to a particular app that we have created or function in this views.py. So we can create n number of functions inside this file, and we can redirect the user to a particular function that is required by the user by providing the different paths such as blog, contact us, or create different functions for each and every page. Okay, so once we're done with this, we're going to be creating another. So once we are done with this, we're going to be creating another app in our folder. So for that, what I will do is I will just open our terminal, and I will just close this server from running, and in here we're going to be creating another app. So for our home page or our home route, we're going to be creating a different app that will be handling our contact us page, about us page, and different home pages, and we're going to be creating a different route or a different app for our blogs. So we are going to be separating these two. So for separating them, we're going to be running this command, that is, so for separating these two things, we're going to be creating a new app that will be home. So over here I will just type the command to create a new app that will be python manage.py, and we'll do start app, and the name of the app will be home. So I just correct the spelling, and if I hit enter, so it will create a new app for us inside this folder. So if I just do this thing, so over here you can see we have a new app which is named home, and in that we have different files. So inside this home as well, we're going to be creating a file named urls.py, and if we hit enter, so it will create a new file which is the urls.py inside our home route. After that, I will just try to close this. So after this, we are going to be making some changes in our urls.py, which is available in our project. So over here, you can see this is the project file, which is code block 1. And inside that, we have this urls.py, which we made changes previously. So in here, what I will do is I will just try to copy this thing, and I just add a comma over here. So what I will do is, if the user comes with a blank string or a empty URL, in that case, we're going to be redirecting the user to home page. And if the user comes with a blog, so we're going to be redirecting the user to the URLs which are available in the urls.py in the blogs app. So by default, we are going to be redirecting the user to the home route. So after that, we will just try to save this, and I will just go back into our urls.py file, which is inside our blog. I will just try to copy this from here, and we're going to be going inside our home apps url.py, and over there we're going to be pasting this thing, and in our home route we are going to be redirecting the user to the home page, which will, so we're going to be redirecting the user to the app, which is will be the, so after this we are going to be just creating multiple functions inside our views.py, which is inside our home app. So the first route will be the home route. After that, we're going to be also creating a page name contact us. I will type here contact, and I will redirect the user to the views contact, and similarly we will add contact over here as well. And after that, we're going to be separating it with a comma, and we're going to be adding another route that will be for about us page. So we're going to be creating 3 different pages, and we're going to be handling it inside the home app. So here we will do about. Similarly, we will just change the function name as well. So we just need to create all these functions inside this home app now. So previously we have created these functions in the, so previously we have only created the functions for the blog app. So now after saving this, we will just open the views.py file in our home app. Over here you can see this is the home apps views.py, and we also have the views.py for our blog app. So I will just try to copy this thing from here, and we will just try to add it in here, and we are going to be just renaming it. So for home we will get the page, this is home. For contact, we are going to be setting the page name as contact page. After that, we are going to be adding another function that will be about us. I do about, and this will be also about. For that, I will just try to save the files and see if we are able to add all the 3 functions correctly. And over here we have also created the views, and in the urls.py for our project we can see we have added blog for the blog app. So after this, if I just save the code, and if we go to our server and we just refresh it, okay, I think the server is not running, so we just need to run the server. So I will just run the server. We go back to our app, we just try to refresh this. Now you can see we are coming with the /blog. In that case only it is printing this. If I just remove this, and if we just hit this URL, you can see we are getting this is home page. And if I just add home slash, and if I just add here home slash about, and if I hit enter, so you can see this is about page. If I just add here contact, and if I hit enter, so you can see this is the contact page. Now if I want to access the blog, in that case what I need to do is I need to do /blog/ and let me just try to add a new URL. So you can see this is the URL that are available in the urls.py in the blog. So we just add here blog / blog. Okay, so I just need to remove this thing from here for blog thing, blog/blog, and in the output we're going to be providing the output as this is blog page, and I will just comment this particular function from here. And if I just try to save it, and if I go to our server and do blog/blog, and if I hit enter, so let's see what output we will get. So it is not showing any output. So in our urls.py of our blog, what we will do is we'll just try to remove this thing from here, and we are going to be adding only one path, that will be the home, and it will be blog home. We will just make it as blog home, and the name will be also blog home. And in our urls.py, we will just change this to blog home, the name as blog home, and this will be the blog homepage. And if I just try to comment out this part, and if we just save the code, and if we go back to our server, and if I just add here slash blog, so in that case we will get the output. And if we just hit enter, you can see this is blog home page. So if I just add slash blog, and we can also add some more data over here, so we can add another slash, and we can also create different blog posts. So we can add the name of the blog post over here, so we can just also add another route for that. So this is how we can access different apps using this particular format that we have added over here. So after this, we will try to create a slug for our blog post. So over here, we have this particular pattern URL. So I will just try to copy this, add another URL. So let's say we are adding a name of a blog. So we also need the slug for that particular blog. So in that case, we just need to add the slug, add it over here. So the slug will be the name or a string that we will be adding in the name of our blog post. So this slug will be in the form of string. So we will just type here str slug slug, and we're going to be redirecting the user to blog post. So this will be another function that we're going to be creating, blog post, and same we will do for the name as well. Type here blog post, and after this we will just try to save this, and we will go into our views.py file, and over here we're going to be creating this function. So what I will do is try to uncomment this part, and we will do blog post, and in that we're going to be just replacing this value which is of index to request. So we're going to be getting the request from the user from the front end. We're going to be handling that request, and we're going to be also passing the slug. We'll do slug, and after that we're going to be doing this is blog post. After this we can just add a f string, and we can just pass the slug over here. So I will do f, and in this we're going to be passing the slug. So I will do slug, so after this we will just try to save the code, and after that if we just try to go to our website and we add slash blog slash hello, and if I hit enter, so you can see this is a blog. So you can see in the output we get this is a blog post, and we get the text that we are passing over here. So if I pass something else, hello hyphen world, and if I add 1 2 3, and if I hit enter, so you can see we are getting this particular text in the output. So this is how we can pass some data using the URL, and we are getting it inside our code or our web page, and we are creating a dynamic app using it. So we can take the user input with the help of this particular. So basically we are taking the user input through this URL, and we are just trying to print it out over here with the help of this particular format that we have written over here. So we are just taking the request from the user, and we are also catching the slug that the user is passing in the URL, and we are just trying to print it out with the help of the f string. So after we are done with this, we are going to be creating a templates file, and so once we're done with this, we're going to be creating a folder inside our main project that will be named as templates. So we're going to be creating some HTML files. So I just need to create the folder inside the main directory that will be our project, and we will just name it as templates. And we're going to be creating some HTML templates, and we're going to be just adding a simple file over here, and I will just name it as home.html. And if in that we're going to be just writing an h tag that will say this is a home page, this is a home page for blog website. After adding this, we will just try to save the code, and after that we will just go inside our views.py for our home app. So let me just try to find out views.py, and over here we are just trying to return the HTTP request. So instead of this, we are going to be just trying to remove this thing from here, and we're going to be returning render. So we already have imported this by default, and instead of index I will just pass here request. So I will do request render, and in here we're going to be passing our request as a first parameter. I will do request comma the name of our HTML file that we have created in our templates file. So I will just name it as home.html, and after that we will just try to save the code. And we will just try to run our server. So you can see the server is still running. So if I just go to our website, and if we just go to home, in that case, let's see what output we will get. So it is showing that okay, we don't have a route for home, we just need to do slash, and over here you can see template does not exist, add slash. So we just need to add this templates folder in our project. So for adding that, we just need to go over here, and inside our main project, just minimize this, and inside our main project, which is the code block 1, in here we will go inside the settings file, and I will just close this terminal so you can clearly see what all things are present over here. So I will just make it a little bit smaller so you can see the entire code that is present inside this settings.py file. And over here you can see there is a part where the templates are written. So over here we just need to pass the directory in which we have stored our templates. So I will just do here templates, to see the name of the folder that we have created over here. So templates, and if we just try to save this, and if we go back to our server, if we just try to refresh it, so we will just add templates over here. So I will do templates, and if I just try to save it, and if we go back to our server and try to refresh the page, in that case it should just load the page from there. So let's see. Okay, it is not showing us the output. Let me check if the server is running or not. Okay, so the server is stopped. If I just try to rerun the server, and if we just go back and try to refresh the page, so over here you can see the output. So this is a home page for the blog website. So we are getting now the output of the template that we have created over here. So we are now able to fetch the data or render the template that we have created, which is a HTML template. So this is how we can just fetch the data from our HTML file using the render template method. So you can see this is the render template method that we're using. So once we are done with this, we are going to be dividing these templates into two different folders. So basically we're going to be creating the folder for home as well as the blog. So over here what I will do is I will just divide this templates into two different folders. So right here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating two different folders. The first one will be blog and the second one will be home. So we are going to be storing, okay, I think I created the home folder inside this. I will do is read this, and I will be creating the home folder inside the templates. So we're going to be dividing the pages of home as well as the blog separately with the help of these folders. So we have created this home for the home app. So we're going to be moving it inside the home app, and we will just add it over there. And we're going to be creating a few more pages in this folder. So the first one will be contact.html, and the second one will be about us. Create about.html, and in here we're going to be just adding some data. So I will just copy this from here, add it over here. This is the contact page. I will just rename it to contact and save this. And in about us, we just rename the page name to as about. So after adding this, if we just try to save it, and if we go into our use.py of our home, over here you can see we are returning render and the request as well as the name of the file. So over here we need to do the same for the contact page. I just need to do request, and instead of this we just need to pass render, and we're going to be passing the request as well as the name of the file to request. We will separate it with a comma and provide the file name, that is contact.html. And we are making a mistake over here. I will be correcting that once we run this code, and I'll show you the output that we get. So I will do the same for the about page as well. So I will just pass the request as a parameter. I will just try to copy this particular thing from here, and we're going to be renaming it to about.html. We'll do about HTML. If I just save the code, try to run the server, so I will just do python manage.py run server, and if we just try to hit enter, so it will start the server for us. If I just open the web browser, so over here you can see we are getting a particular error. So here you can see templates does not exist. So now we have moved all our files inside the home folder in our templates. So we also need to specify that over here. So in here we can do home slash, and inside that we have this HTML file, which is the home HTML. If I just do that, we just save the code, and if we go back to our page, let me show you the output. And if I just try to refresh the page now, okay, let me just save the code again and refresh the server. And if we go back again, it should now work. So you can see in the output we are getting, this is the home page for blog website. So now the page is visible. So we can do the same for contact and about us page as well. So we just need to pass the directory in which we are storing these files. So we are storing it inside the home directory for all these pages. We will just try to save it. And if we go to our website and try to refresh it, and now if I add the route as /contact, and if I hit enter, so you can see this is the contact page for the blog website. And if I add here about, so it should return this is about page for the blog website. So all our pages are working now. So once we are done with this, we are going to be starting working with Bootstrap. So over here I will just open a new tab, and we're going to be searching for Bootstrap, and we're going to be adding Bootstrap elements into our HTML file. So we'll search for Bootstrap, and we will get this first result. So we will just click on get started with Bootstrap, and over here you can see this is a basic app using Bootstrap. So we just need to copy this particular code from here and we will just add it inside our home.html. So try to close this and we will just try to find out where we have our home.html file. You just go in here and I will just paste this particular code and we're going to be renaming the title of this website to code blog, and after that we are just adding a hello world. So instead of this, set it to home page. And if I just try to save this and if we go back into our browser and refresh our page, so okay, we are passing the slash about. If we just go hit the URL and here you can see we are getting the output as home page. So we are successfully added Bootstrap into our HTML file. After that, we are going to be adding different elements over here. So we just need to find a nav bar that we can add into our website. So we need a navigation bar. So I will just click on nav bar and over here we will see some examples of nav bar. So these are different examples that are available over here. So let me just try to find out a perfect one for our blog website. So I think the first one will work out for us. So it has nav bar name and home link and some other links, and it also contains a search bar. So it will be really helpful for us to search for our blog. So we can add a search functionality from here and we can search for a particular blog. So we're going to be adding a lot of functionalities into our blog with the help of the search feature. So I will just try to copy this and we're going to be coming over here and in here we're going to be pasting this nav bar and I will just try to comment out this part. And if we just scroll down and we are going to be naming it as code blog, and if we just click on that we are going to be redirecting the user to the same page that will be slash, and after that we have different links over here that we can add. So let me just try to find out home. We click on home, we're going to be redirecting to the same page. So that we have a page name link. So we are going to be renaming it as contact and we are going redirecting the user to the contact page with the help of this. So I will just do slash contact. So that, let me check, we have a button. Okay, if I just try to save the code first and if we go to the website and see the changes over there, will be great. So you can see here is the output that we are getting. So Bootstrap is not working for this thing. Check what is the issue. So previously we have only copied this code for printing out the so previously we have only copied this basic code. We also need to add the Bootstrap CSS and JS. So for this we just need to copy this particular code now, and if we go back in our code and here if we just replace this code with that, so it will add that particular functionality into our code now. So if I just try to copy or cut this from here and in here if we just try to paste this, so this thing should work out now. If we save the code, go back into our browser, if I just try to refresh the page, now you can see our nav bar is working and we are also getting hello world, and you can see we have created this particular button which, and we have also added the contact. If I just click on contact, it will redirect us to the contact page. Now we want similarly a button for, now similarly we want a button for the about us page, and we will just remove this drop down So what I will do is over here, just see how we can change this thing. So what I will do is I will just try to remove this thing from here, and I will be naming it as about us, and we are just going to be removing this particular thing, which is the drop down menu. So we don't need this one for now, and we are going to be adding a href tag. Okay, we also need to remove this one as well for the drop down toggle, and we are going to be adding a href tag that will redirect the user to slash about. Remove this to slash about, and we also need to close this thing over here. So if I just try to save this, and if we go back to our page now, it should show us only three options here: home, contact, and about us. If I just click on about us, so it will redirect us to the about us page. So this is how we can create different pages, and we can redirect the user to different pages. So if I just click on home, it will take us to the same page. If I click on code block, it will redirect us to the home page. If I just click on contact, it will take us to the contact page. Similarly, if we just click on about us page, it will take us to the about us page. Once we are done with this, we are going to be making some changes in our code. So over here, what we need to do is we will just create a base.html file. So basically what we are doing is right now we have this particular nav bar that will be common for all our pages. That will be contact us and about us page. We are going to be keeping this nav bar common on our all the pages for the home page. So for that, what we can do is we can create another file named base.html, and we're going to be using Ginger templating. So we will do base.html, and if I hit enter over here, so we'll get this output. And after that, what I will do is I will just try to copy this entire code for adding the nav bar, and we will paste it inside our base.html. And after this, we are going to be creating a code block over here. So I will just add a Ginger templating code block. So before that, we will just install this extension for Ginger templating from our VS Code extension. So I do Ginger, yeah. So you can see here is an extension for Ginger snippet. So I will just try to install it, and it will take few seconds to install, and it is successfully installed onto our system. Once we are done with this, we can just try to add Ginger templating over here. So if I just do doc, and we're going to be naming this block as body. So this is a particular format for creating a Ginger template. So inside this block body, we are going to be adding. So I will just try to remove this from here, and we're going to be adding it right. And after that, I will just copy this block from here, and going to be adding it right here. So once we are done with this, we will go inside our HTML. Once we are done with this, we will go inside our home.html, and over here we are going to be doing jblock, and after this I will do body, and we are going to, and after that we are going to be also adding a line of code that will be j.extend, and here we will pass the file name that will be base.html. So if I just try to save the code, if we go back to our website and if we just try to refresh the page, so you will see that you're getting an error. So let me just try to find out what is the error over here. Okay, so we are getting this particular error. So this is because we are not passing the name of the folder where we have this base.html. So over here, what we need to do is in this extent, we just need to pass slash home. So I will just pass slash home, and I have removed the other code, and in the base.html I have added the body, so I have also removed that for now. So just to show you what output we will get with the raw data, so we are just extending this particular thing from here. And if I just try to save this, and if we just go back to the browser, and if we just try to refresh the page, now you can see we are getting the output. So if I just click on contact, we are still getting the contact page and all the things are working now. So we have added the data inside base.html. Once we are done with this, what we can do is in the base.html, we can create different fields. So right now you can see the title is bootstrap demo. So we are going to be removing this from here, and I will just create a J block. I will do j.block. So we have added this particular. So I will do j.block. So using the Jinja extension that we have installed, we can just create this block over here, and I will name the block as title. I will do title, and after that what I will do is I will try to copy this particular thing from here, and we're going to be adding the title for this particular page with the help of this format, and we are going to be naming the page as home. And so that if I just save the code, and if we just save the code over here as well, we go into our browser and refresh the page, you can see the page is home page. And also one more thing that we can do is we can just add slash code block. So what it will do is if I just try to save this, it will fetch this data from the files, and we can just add a block title inside our home file, about us file, and contact us file, and from there it will fetch this data that is not been added into our file. And if we just try to refresh this page, it will automatically add the hyphen code block over there. So after this, what we can do is we can similarly just try to extend this particular thing for all the pages. I will try to add it over here and here as well. So we're going to be extending for all the files, and we're going to be changing the name of the files. About us, the title will be about us for this page, and this page will be contact. And after adding this, we can also do one thing, is that we can change this data that we have over here. So we are going to be adding it in a block. We'll do j.block, and in here we're going to be passing the name of the page. So I will just keep it to the name as it is, and over here I will do create another block, and that will be name is home. Okay, so similarly we will just copy this. Let me just check. Okay, the n is small over here. Add name, copy this, add it over here and here as well. And the name will be about us. This will be contact. And if I just try to save the code now, and if we go back to our browser, if we just try to refresh the page, now you can see we have on the home page. If I just click on contact, you can see we are on the contact page, and the data is not being refreshed. Okay, let's just try to check for that as well. So if we just go on about us, so you can see we are on the about us page, and this thing is not refreshing at all. So let me just try to see if we are able to save the changes on all the pages. So I just try to see and refresh the server, if we just try to refresh the page now, you can see we are on the about us page. So I just need to restart the server for this thing to work. So you can see we are on the about us page. If I click on contact, you can see we are on the contact page, and it is fetching all this data from the base.html file, and we have added a block in which we are passing this particular data, that is contact and things like that. We are also getting the title of the page as well, which is contact. If we just click on about, it says about us, and if we just click on home, it will tell us that we are on the home page. So this is how we can do template inheritance with the help of Jinja templating, and I hope you got a clear idea of how you can use that. So here is the format that we are using. So after this, we can also change the nav bar. So over here you can see we are getting the light version of the nav bar. So if you want to change it to the dark version, so it will look far better. So I will just try to change the nav bar over here. So you can see this is light, so I will just change it to dark, and similarly we will for this as well, change it to dark. And we just try to save this code now, dark. And if we just try to save the code, we go back to the browser, just try to refresh it. Now you can see, okay, we just try to save it, and now if we try to refresh it, so over here we're going to be changing this to dark, and after that we are going to be adding another parameter that will be nav bar hyphen dark. And if we just try to save this, if we go back to our browser, try to refresh it, now you can see we are getting a dark version of our nav bar, which is looking far better than the previous one. And if we just click on contact, about us, we are getting the appropriate pages after clicking over here. We also need to add another page that will be blog. So I just need to copy this particular code from here. I will just try to duplicate it, and we are going to be adding a blog over here. Instead of this, I will just pass here blog, and we are going to be redirecting the user to slash blog. And I just try to save this, try to refresh the page. Now you can see we are also getting the blog, and if we just click on the blog, you can see this is the blog page, so we are redirected to the blog page. Similarly, we will just try to create some templates inside the blog folder as well. We'll create the blog home.html, and we're going to be creating another file that would be blog post html. So we have created these two files, and we're going to be extending it by this base.html. So what I will do is I will just try to copy this code, and we're going to be adding the same code over here, and we are going to be doing it as blog home. Similarly, add this over here. In the title it will say blog home, and the file name also it will say blog home. And if I just try to copy this, paste it in the blog post, so we'll just rename it to blog post. Similarly, we will do this well, blog post. And if I just try to save the code, and we also need to make changes in the views.py file, and in here we just need to import and we also need to make changes in the views.py file. So we will just go inside views.py of our blog, and in here we're going to be making a change for rendering the template, and we are also going to be changing this index to request. So this is the request, that is coming from the user. I will just try to add it over here, request, and we're going to be passing the name of the template that we want to render. So in our case, it is blog home.html, and it is inside the folder name blog. So I will do /blog, and similarly we will just copy this, add it over here, and we are going to be renaming this to blog post. So after that, if we just try to save the code, and if we go to our browser, and if I just try to refresh the page, and if we click on blog, so you can see, okay, it is not rendering the template. I think we just need to check if we have saved all the codes and all the files that we have changed over here. So if I just try to save this, and we just go back, try to refresh this page, so you can see we are getting the output now. We are getting the blog home, and we just need to click on this code block to go to our home page. And if we also click on home, it will take us to the home page. If we click on contact, it will take us to the contact page. If we click on about us, it will take us to the about us page. And you can see the route is also changing over here. And if I just click on blog, so you can see we are getting on the blog page. And for getting into the blog post, we just need to add a slug over here. So if I just add a slug as Python, and if we hit enter, so you can see we are inside the blog post. So if it contains any slug, in that case it will take us to the blog post. So this is how we can navigate the user through our Django application, and we are successfully able to create 5 different pages and redirect the user with the help of these buttons that we have created over here. So after that, I will show you 2 important commands that are very important for creating a database for our blog website. So if I just open our terminal over here, you can see we are getting an message that you have 18 unapplied migrations, and the project may not work properly until you apply the migration. So we were ignoring this particular warning previously, but we are going to be now managing this particular thing, and we are going to be overcoming this issue, and we're going to be solving this particular issue. So right here you can see there are some tables that this app wants to create inside our database, that is the SQLite 3 database. So if I just try to minimize all these things, so you can see there is a db.sqlite. So we need to make some changes into this SQLite database to in order to create a super user and things like that. So for making that happen, we just need to run a command. So there are basically 2 different commands that I want to talk about. If I just try to close the server over here, we have 2 different commands that I want to talk about. Okay, so the first command is make migration. So make migration is the first command that we are going to be talking about, and the second one will be migrate. So basically these 2 commands are used to work with database. So the make migration command will help us to create a database or a table inside our database. So over here we're going to be creating different models, and in that we're going to be providing the structure of our table. And if we just do make migration, in that case it will just try to create that particular table or generate a file inside our migrations folder. And after that, if we just click on migrate and we run the command migrate, in that case it will make that changes and reflect them into our SQLite database. So migrations will just create a file inside the migrations folder which will contain our structure of the table. And after that, if we just run the migrate command, in that case it will just create the table inside our database and migrate the data over there. So for now, we are going to be running the commands and trying to see what output we will get by running these two commands. So for this thing to work, we just need to type python manage.py, and we're going to be doing make migration. And if I hit enter, so you can see in the output that there are no changes detected. So we have not created any tables yet. So that's why it is showing that no changes detected in our code. So you can also see that. So once we are done with this, what we can do is we can just run the migrate command instead of this. So if I just do migrate, and if I hit enter, in that case you will see it is applying some changes and it is creating some users and creating some tables inside this DB SQLite database. So you can see these all tables are created. So if I just try to show you what this table contains, so after that, it has created some tables. You can see over here what tables it has created. And after that, we will be able to access or create a super user. So let's try to create a super user. So let's try to create that. So I don't know what is the command for that, for creating super user. So let's try to run here python manage.py, and over here, let's see how we can create a super user. So over here, you can see in the auth, we have create super user. So we will just try to copy this command and we will run this. And if I hit enter, so it will ask us to add a username. So what I will do is I will name the user as admin. And if I hit enter, it will ask for the email address. So I don't want to give any email address. So I will hit enter, and the password. So I will add the password something. And if I hit enter, so it is telling us that the password is too short. So I want to keep the same password. And I will just click here Y and hit enter. So it will create the user for us. So now it has successfully created the super user. So after this, we can access the super user by just typing here our URL and /admin. If I just type here admin, and if I hit enter, okay, our server is not running. So I will just try to our server up and running, run this command. So our server will start. After that, we will go to our browser, and if I just try to refresh this page, so over here you can see the output and we are getting the login page. So here I just need to add the username and the password, and if I hit enter, so you can see here is the output that we get. So over here you can see there are different groups and users that we have. So you can see here is a group, so we can create different groups and users. So any user that will sign up to our website will be able to add, or it will be added over this database. So we are fetching the database that it has created for the admin, and we can just see what all users are available. So we can see that here is the user that we have created, that is the admin. So we can make changes into this in the backend, and we have just created the super user so that we can access and see what changes are made in the database and all the tables that are available over there. So after adding this, what we can do is we can just try to log out from here. So that if we go back to our website and see all the things are working or not, so here you can see all the things are working. So I think that was it for this particular lesson. I think it is almost more than 1 hour of content for this lesson, and I think this is enough for this lesson. Let's stop right here and we will move forward with our code for this blog website in the next lesson. So without further ado, let's move to the next lesson of our course.